So let us look at all those important civil services reforms. Yes, sir, definitely you will be getting independence today, but you will not become a republic, because you can become a sovereign, secular, socialistic, democratic republic only when you get into services. Till then, you will be only treated as subjects, not as citizens. Exactly. Only beggar can understand these things. So let us look at important civil services reforms. You can write down civil services reforms. Civil services reforms. First one is recruitment. Recruitment. Baswan committee suggested the following reforms. First, UPSC must scientifically evaluate. UPSC must scientifically evaluate. UPSC must scientifically evaluate the vacancies in all India services. In all India services and other central services by taking inputs from the concerned ministries and departments, by taking inputs from the concerned CON, ministries and departments, and also from the state governments. Next, right now, that is what Baswan committee has said, it is not being done in a proper manner, because normally every year so many officers will be retiring. You need to fill in those vacancies. In the IAS itself, IAS and IPS combined together, there are still at least around more than 2,000 vacancies are there. The government is not filling them. It is resulting in overburdening of officials. It is also impacting the overall efficiency of administration. That is the reason why what Baswan committee has suggested is that UPSC should start this entire process much earlier in an independent manner, asking the ministries and departments what exactly, how many people are retiring, what exactly your need, and also the state governments. For example, most of the states in India, you can see nowadays are opting for more number of districts. Rajasthan recently has created 50 districts. So every district require many IAS officers and IPS officers. You need a district collector, you need a sub collector, additional collector, you need a superintendent of police, DSP, ASP. So like this, you need these positions. Obviously, what mostly it is being done is that they are mechanically recruiting people without looking at the real vacancies. Normally, UPSC every year recruits around 180 for IAS and 180 for IPS, even though the need is much higher. The government says that we cannot recruit more than 180 because problem comes up with promotions, because we have only promotions on the basis of seniority. So everyone will have to be promoted. The government says that at the top we don't have so many vacancies. And what is happening is that at the bottom level there is so much of scarcity of efficient staff also. That is the reason why Baswan committee has said that let there be proper scientific evaluation of positions in the ministries and departments, and also get inputs from the state governments. Obviously, as I said, when you have 50 districts, obviously you need more number of IAS and IPS officers. And what the state governments are doing, since they don't get many officers from the UPSC central government through cadre allocation, they are depending more on their state cadre, state civil services. Obviously, it will impact the efficiency. That is the reason why this is the first recommendation made by Baswan committee. Second, age limit should be reduced. Age limit should be reduced from the present 32 years. Should be reduced from the present 32 years to 26 years over a period of time. Over a period of time. So what the committee has recommended is that do not reduce the age limit overnight. It will impact the students who are preparing. So reduce it over a period of time. Every year you can reduce it by 1 year. So that it should be reduced to 26 years. Number of attempts also should be reduced. Number of attempts should be reduced to 3. Maximum number of attempts should be only 3. Should be reduced to 3. Next recommendation. There should be separate examination. There should be separate examination for IAS, IPS, IRS and other central services. IRS and other central civil services. IAS, IPS, IRS and other central civil services. In the age of globalization, the committee felt that what is needed is specialization. The committee felt that what is needed is specialization. A single examination for all services. A single examination for all services may not serve the purpose. May not serve the purpose. SERVA. For a single examination for all services may not serve the purpose. That's the reason it has said that let there be separate examinations for all these services. Next recommendation. The committee also recommended changes to the main examination. Changes to the main examination. Optional should be removed. Optional should be removed. And must be replaced with 2 other compulsory papers. 2 other compulsory papers. Law and public administration. Law and public administration. Next recommendation. There must be changes to the personality test also. There must be changes to the personality test also. There must be changes to the personality test also. The committee recommended the tests followed by Army. The tests followed by Army, military Army. In Army, how this personality test is conducted? It is conducted over a period of 3 to 4 days. Yes, 5 days. Okay. Thank you very much. Right. So, and what do they do in those 5 days? Yes, don't worry, you don't have to write all those things. Right? For all the unimportant, insignificant questions, you will immediately come out with best of the answers. Right? So this is regarding recruitment. Right? This is regarding recruitment. Next, training, TRAINI, training of civil services. Second Administrative Reforms Commission felt that the present training modules do not match up to the expectations of the surveys. Do not match up to the expectations of the surveys. Expectations of surveys. It has recommended that through training of civil servants, come our generalist civil services, our generalist GENERALIST civil services must be transformed into specialists. Through domain DOMAIN expertise, EXPERTISE. After continue the same thing, after completing their field jobs, civil servants come to the secretariat to be part of a policy formulation. Come to the secretariat to be part of a policy formulation. They must be given specific training in one particular area of specialization. Like education, health, agriculture and rural development, finance and economics, environment and so on. This can be useful in the age of globalization This can be useful in the age of globalization. In the age of globalization, wherein governance mostly is about specialization. Mostly about specialization. Next, in the year 2021, our Prime Minister launched Mission Karma Yogi. Mission Karma Yogi as part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. It is felt that our civil servants have shifted their focus to career advancement than serving the country. Next paragraph. In the last 3 decades, radical changes have taken place. Radical changes have taken place in the functioning of our political, economic, administrative, social and cultural systems. Social and cultural systems. It has been found that our civil servants have failed to integrate those changes, in their own functioning. In their own functioning. 73rd, 74th amendments, 73rd and 74th amendments, rights-based approach to governance, rights-based approach to governance, e-governance and digital public infrastructure, citizen-centric governance, citizen charters and social audits, increasing role played by the third sector, and finally multi-actor paradigm in public administration have impacted the functioning of our civil services. These changes expect radical transformation in the attitudes as well as aptitudes of our civil servants. Next, objectives of mission Karma Yogi. What are the objectives of mission Karma Yogi? What are the objectives? Supporting the transition from rules-based governance to outcome-based administration. To overcome goal displacement. Second, shift in focus from off-site learning, OFF, off-site learning, to on-site learning, ON, on-site learning. Next objective, to make available to all the civil servants, an opportunity to continuously strengthen their behavioral, functional and domain competencies. Next objective, to make civil servants domain competencies. Next objective, to make civil servants more creative, constructive, imaginative, innovative. So many tips are here. Innovative, proactive, progressive, professional, energetic, transparent, and technology enabled. And technology enabled, ENABLED. The focus will be on efficient service delivery mechanisms. Efficient service delivery mechanisms of the highest quality standards. Of the highest quality standards. Next point, the training program will be delivered. The training program will be delivered by I Got Karma Yogi platform. I Got Karma Yogi platform. What is I Got? Integrated. I Got means integrated government online training program. Integrated government online training program. Online training. I Got integrated online training. Right. 46 lakh government employees. 46 lakh government employees would benefit from this training program. Would benefit from this training program. 510 crores of rupees, 510 crores of rupees will be spent over a period of 5 years. Over a period of 5 years on this training program. On this training program. So this is what we say mission Karma Yogi. As we have mentioned, our bureaucracy's focus has shifted from working for the people to their career advancement. That is what we have mentioned yesterday. Karma Yogi. Who is a Karma Yogi? Who finds satisfaction and happiness in the work that he performs. This is one of the ways of attaining salvation. That is what we have mentioned, Karma Yogi. So as a civil servant, you must find your happiness and satisfaction in the work that you are performing. You should not attach yourself to the outcome of your work. Right now, the focus of the civil servants have shifted. It has shifted from working for the people to their career advancement. That is the reason why the objective of this mission Karma Yogi is to make civil servants realize their true calling. They should believe that they are there only for the service of the people, not for their own benefit. And the objective of this mission Karma Yogi is to improve their domain competencies. That is what we have mentioned. A generalist civil servant must be transformed into a specialist, and ultimately to transform the civil servants into all the adjectives that we have mentioned: creative, innovative, professional, proactive, dynamic, transparent, technology enabled, imaginative, destructive, sorry, because we are adding all the tivs. So so that is what. So you have to make the civil servants like that only. This is the objective of mission Karma Yogi. So, similarly, as we have mentioned, we spoke about the weaknesses in the functioning of our civil services. They are only interested in implementing rules and regulations. They are not at all concerned about outcomes. I gave you the example, old woman coming to your house. You only think about the rules and regulations, whether she is carrying the necessary documents or not. You are not at all concerned about the outcome, whether you are helping that woman or not. That is the reason why we said that we should move from this value neutral Weberian bureaucrat to a proactive, value committed civil servant who gives more importance to outcomes than rules and regulations. As we said, if you give importance only to rules and regulations, what happens? That is what we said. Operation is successful and the patient is dead. Operation is successful and the patient is dead. Doctor performs the operation strictly according to the procedures and the patient is dead. Right? And similarly, as a civil servant, you are very, very successful in implementing rules and regulations, and outcomes zero. The old woman dies peacefully, right, in front of your house only, next day morning. So that is what we say. This kind of goal displacement can be seen in the functioning of our bureaucracy. The original goal of a bureaucracy is to maximize welfare of people, to work for the betterment of people. And the rules and regulations are what we call them, the instruments. These rules and regulations are the instruments that must be used by the bureaucracy to work for welfare of people. And what do we say, goal displacement? The original goal of a bureaucracy is to work for the welfare of people. It has been replaced with the new goal in the form of implementing rules and regulations. You talk to any civil servant, just joined IAS officer to cabinet secretary, all of them would say only one thing: they cannot violate rules and regulations. They are not at all concerned about the outcomes. Why? Because tomorrow when their performance is evaluated, it is evaluated in terms of their ability to implement rules and regulations only. I gave you the example. There is this young dynamic officer who was heading a public sector enterprise, and through his innovation and creativity had transformed this loss-making public sector enterprise into profit-earning one. And what happened? He was suspended from service. Why? He had violated rules and regulations. So CAG conducts this legal audit. If you remember, that is what we have said. Legal audit means regulatory audit. That means whether the person who is taking the decisions has followed the established laws, norms, rules and regulations or not. They are not concerned about the outcomes. He had violated the rules and regulations, but he made the organization profitable. And that is where our bureaucracy is ineffective. Our bureaucrats, we say, are efficient in implementing rules and regulations, but are ineffective in realizing outcomes. As I said, almost every ethics case study is about these things only. This conflict between morality and legality. So as part of mission Karma Yogi, the government says that civil servants must now transform themselves from rule based to outcome based. That is what the government says. Exactly. If you follow the rules and regulations, there will be absence of governance. If you don't follow, then there will not be any rule-based governance. What is the solution? That is what the classical dilemma. In front, devil is there. Behind your back, deep sea is there. what should you do? You are caught between devil and deep sea. What should you do? If you move forward, devil will eat you. If you go backward, you will fall into deep sea. What should you do? Pardon? Only one person, yes? What? You are saying something? Fly. No, it's because of origins, monkeys, you know. Right. Huh? See, that is the reason why all these statements are useless. You write all of them in the examination, get into services, forget all these things. Right? Very good. What about ethics? 250 marks. What else do you want? See, you look at the entire history of human civilization. Anyone who followed values or ethics always faced hardships in life. Lord Ram, very ethical person. What happened? He went to forest. And take the case of Mahabharata. Pandavas, ethical. What happened? They went to forest. Right now, who stays in forest? Naxalites, ethical. Right? So, that is what we say ultimately. You know, it is easy to be successful in the present world, and the most difficult thing in this world is to be ethical. Can you be, surviving if you are extremely ethical person? For example, you are a very honest officer, and nobody likes this kind of honesty within the administration. So you keep on getting transferred. For how long will you fight the system? For how long will you fight the system? That is what we say about the civil services in India. When you get into services, you are highly committed. You will say that I will change this entire world with my strong, powerful personality. 3 years, you will work very hard, highly ethical. You will not use even office pen also. Highly ethical. Then what happens? Next 30 years, the system will change you. First 3 years, you would love to change the system. You are committed. Next 30 years, the system will change you. Then slowly the transformation takes place in a very slow and steady manner. You don't even know that it is taking place. After 3 years, when you face so many transfers, so many threats to your life, then you start asking the question, why? Why am I doing all these things? And look at your colleagues, and they are very corrupt, and they are getting promotions, postings, and you are only animal husbandry department. Right? Then you start making compromises. You will say that I will not become corrupt. If others are corrupt, I will not judge them. Let my table be very clean. That is how the compromise will start. You will say that I am not Jesus Christ to change the entire world. Then after that, again the thought process will start. Those who are joining hands with the politicians, those bureaucrats, they keep on getting better postings, and higher promotions. You still are considered untouchable in the civil service because of your honesty. Then you start. I will not take bribes. But if the minister is taking bribes, I will not object to it. Immediately you will get your promotions. Then after some point of time, you see everyone around you is corrupt. Then you will also ask yourself a question. What if I am only honest when the entire system is corrupt? Then you also become part of it. If you cannot beat them, join them. And that is what exactly happens. And that is how the system will change you. By the time you retire, you are sufficiently, yes, that is what we say by the time. Because for how long can you fight the system? For how long can you fight the system? Is it possible for you to fight the system all alone and be victorious? No. You know, those who have spoken about ethics and values, what happened to them? Jesus Christ was crucified for speaking truth, for standing up to values. You know, Gautam Buddha had to sacrifice everything and spend all his life like a beggar. Right? And what about other honest people? That is what. Please remember, whatever I am telling you right now have been asked as questions in your ethics case studies. All these things. The question they have asked is, you know, if everyone around you is corrupt, then you start thinking, why should I only be honest? If my sole honesty, will it serve the purpose? No. And if I am very honest, and if I stick to my integrity, there will be threat to my life, to my family members. Should I make this kind of sacrifice? You start asking the questions. And that is how people become, you know, first they become conformists, and then later they become, right, they will become corrupt. So that is the reason why you have to find answers to this also. So you will say that yes, let everyone be corrupt. But if I am honest, at least some people may be influenced by me in the society. If you look at it, you know, this is what we say about our society and the leadership. If you are strong, you can change the society. If you are weak, the society will change you. Take the case of Mahatma Gandhi. When he spoke about the non-violent freedom movement, nobody believed in him. When he said that we should make a freedom movement a mass movement, everyone made fun of him. But that is how he had done it. That is what we call a transformation society. Similarly, when Ambedkar fought against this caste discrimination and untouchability, nobody believed that he would succeed. But ultimately, you know, we have included all those things in our constitution, and we are trying to move towards a society where you know, people will not be discriminated on the basis of caste. Similarly, you know, take people like Raja Ram Mohan Rai, or Ishwar Chandra Vijayasagar, or Jyoti Bapule. All of them have fought for societal reforms, and they have been successful. So you don't have to lose your heart. You know, you can be honest, you can be committed to values, and still lead your life also, provided you know, you are not looking for career advancement. Obviously, when you are very honest and committed to values, it becomes very difficult. But again, this is not the case with everything, because if everyone is corrupt, the system would collapse. It would have collapsed a long time back. So please remember, 95% of our bureaucrats are honest. 95% of bureaucrats are honest. You know, but the only thing is that they will not stop other people from indulging in corruption. They are honest. Only 5% are corrupt. That means they are proactive in corruption. 95% are honest. That is the reason why the system is surviving. If every bureaucrat is corrupt, the system would have collapsed. Only thing is that we have to recognize and reward this honesty. And if you look at the present government also, you know, they know, because even take any chief minister in the state, in the country, they know that their chances of winning elections next time would depend on effective implementation of their schemes. And that is the reason why in the districts, they always prefer very honest bureaucrats. For 4.5 years they prefer. After 4.5 years they will be transferred. because election time. They needed their committed bureaucrats. They needed. That is the reason why most of our students, they get transferred the moment elections come. Otherwise they are very honest and extremely useless people, right? Very honest, but absolutely useless people, right? So that is what. So we don't have to lose our heart here. If everyone is corrupt, the system would have collapsed long time back. 95% of them are honest. That's what we have to remember. Only thing is that they will not stop others from indulging in corruption. They will say that let us keep our conscience very much clear. We will not do anything which is unethical or immoral. If others are doing it, let them. And that is the reason why these politicians also, they know what kind of bureaucrats they want in different positions. In critical ministries where they needed this political funding, they have those bureaucrats who are willing to bend rules and regulations, which is what we call corruption in critical ministries. Because politicians, our political system needs money. That's what we say, systematic corruption. Otherwise, in other positions, in other positions, you can see that they prefer, especially at the field level, these honest IAS officers, because they are the ones who would implement the policies of the government in a more efficient manner. Ultimately, this policy implementation is the one which helps the political party, ruling political party, to come back to power. So that is the reason why we don't have to lose heart. There are so many honest bureaucrats, and they keep on getting good promotions also. Unless you are extremely brutally honest, someone like Ashok Kenka, it is very difficult to deal with people like him. Why? Because if you are extremely honest, you cannot do anything. That's what we say here. As a bureaucrat, you should know how to go beyond the rules and regulations, not against rules and regulations. You cannot go against rules and regulations, but you can go beyond rules and regulations. There is a lot of difference. These are all the ethics case studies that UPSC keeps on asking. You can always go beyond rules and regulations. I gave you this example of this old woman coming to your house. You can help her without violating the rules and regulations. That is what you call going beyond rules and regulations. What you can do, immediately you can call up the NGOs, old age homes in your district. Ask them to give her accommodation and food on a temporary basis, so that her immediate needs are taken care of. Next day, send your officers to the old age home. Get her the Aadhaar card and everything else. Then start providing benefits to her. Are you violating the rules and regulations here? That is what we say. On the other hand, if you say that I am only strict to my rules and regulations, let her die, that is when you will be a failure. As a civil servant, you should go beyond the rules and regulations. That is where your administrative acumen is determined, administrative ability is measured, and that is where your ethical competence will be tested. Are you willing to help the people or not? If you are willing to help the people, you can always go beyond rules and regulations. And that is what you have to write in all your ethics case studies. That is what we call a win-win situation. Here you are helping the person and you are also not violating the rules and regulations. I gave you another example of this case study wherein a person, poor family, they needed money for operation surgery, and they have fulfilled all the conditions except one condition: they did not belong to backward caste. If you help them, it is violating rules and regulations. If you don't, then it will be unethical. What will you do under those circumstances? What can you do under those circumstances? As a civil servant, you can do so many things. First, as I said, in government, everything should be on the basis of written documentation. There will be always exceptions to rules and regulations under emergency situations. These rules and regulations can be violated under emergency situations. Only thing is that tomorrow when the audit is done, you have to clearly prove that it is an exceptional case. How? You can take the signatures of the villagers, their neighbors and everyone. Clearly, they would be requesting you, please help this person as an exceptional case. Then you can request the local NGOs to contribute some money. And from your discretionary funds, you can always give money to this person. You are not violating any rules and regulations. That is what we say, going beyond the rules and regulations. And that is where your ethics matter. That is the reason why UPSC, that's what I said. If everything has to be done strictly according to rules and regulations, why do we need values or ethics? These ethics matter when you face these kind of ethical dilemmas, morality versus legality. How to, make sure that your decisions are ethical and at the same time not illegal also. That is where all your creativity, your commitment, your innovation, your imagination will come into picture. Because tomorrow when the audit is done, everything is on the paper. Everything is on the paper with the necessary proof also. And you say that I have given this much amount of money from the discretionary grants available with me because of the following reasons, along with the necessary proof. Nobody will say no to you because you have not violated any rules and regulations. Right? So this is what, and this is how you have to do the things. That is what Mission Karmayogi talks about. Yes. Off-site learning and on-site learning. For example, in our civil services training, the training is mostly academic one in training institutions like Labasna, right? And it has nothing to do with the practical realities. What kind of practical problems that you undergo when you go to the field, right? For example, in Labasna, you are sitting in air-conditioned rooms. Someone will come and teach you about administration. Will that be helpful for you? Because what is required is on-site learning. When you go to the field, when you go to the district, you will know about the problems of people. You will also try to come out with the solutions. By sitting in air-conditioned rooms, is it possible for you to feel empathy for poor people, weaker sections, and backward classes? Obviously not. That is the reason why right now also, as part of civil services training, the government has changed the training modules. So many things, so many good things are done by the present government as part of civil services training. They have increased this duration of district training. Earlier it used to be only 1 week. Now it is to 3 weeks. And where this district training will be given? In mostly these backward places, northeastern districts, northeastern states, because they are relatively backward. Most of us don't know what happens there. People don't visit, they are mostly secluded. Similarly, they are given training, they are asked to undergo this district level training in tribal areas, backward areas. So what you are going there, you go there, stay there in the local government school. No facilities, nothing. You have to take a bath in open. There will not be any washrooms also. Because that is what people, poor people. Then only you will know about the problems. How can you empathize with the problems of people unless you have seen them by yourself? And that is what we say, the focus is more on on-site learning. That is what Mission Karmayogi is about. And of course, All these things combined together, everything is fine. What is the amount of money you have written? 510 crores. And how many years? 5 years. That means every year 100 crores, around 100 crores, right? And how many employees? Around 50 lakh employees. 50 lakh employees and you are spending 100 crores. On one employee, how much you are spending? CSAT question. 50 lakh into 10 rupees? 5 crores? CSAT, take your time. 5 crores? Okay, 5 crores. Right? Then 100 rupees? 50 crores. Yes? All of you are looking at me with so much of a doubt in your mind. And this is called governance class and I'm only teaching CSAT. Unethical. Yes. Right? 50 crores. 200 rupees? 100 crores. So on an average, on an employee you are spending 200 rupees. What will you get for 200 rupees? You're always interested in food. Okay, fine. Chole bhature, Agarwal sweets. Right? What will you get for with 200 rupees? You know, I don't want to disappoint you. That is the reason why we spoke highly about Mission Karma Yogi. The reality is that the government will be spending 200 rupees. What will you get with the 200 rupees? Through Mission Karma Yogi? What will you get with 200 rupees? If you are calling for any kind of training also, their travel expenses will be more than that. Right? So that is the reason why this kind of programs are only for you to write in the examination and forget. As part of this Mission Karma Yogi, the entire training is only what is called online training, IGOT platform. Integrated Government Online Training Program. So what happened with the Mission Karma Yogi? All our IAS officers went into depression. Why? Because previously these IAS officers in the name of a training would go to foreign countries, enjoy their time, life, come back. Right now there is no foreign training, because all those foreign universities have been asked to frame online courses so that they can sit in front of their laptop and learn everything about governance. And these training, that is where most of these officers went into depression, because the only way they can travel to foreign country through training, that also has taken away. So the government has said that there is only one person that can travel to foreign countries, but no one else. The rest of them, everything, sit in front of your laptop. You can see Washington, Paris, London, Germany, Singapore, everything you can see in front of your laptop. And they say that you are given these modules free of cost. So what is the expenditure spent by the government? 200 rupees. That is how it comes. Right? So don't take all these things seriously, but write them in the examination, you will get marks. Right? So this is again, this is about training of civil services. Next, let us move on to another major civil services reform. That is what we said in a previous class also. We spoke about this politicization of civil services. I said that this has been asked so many times in our ethics case studies. So what is the solution? How to reduce this political interference? How to make our civil services unbiased, politically neutral, impartial and non-partisan? How to reduce this political interference? And we said that why this politicization of civil services is taking place? why this politicization of civil services takes place? Why? As we have said, all these career related aspects, promotions, transfers, postings, suspensions, then post-retirement positions, and finally removals. At the state level, recruitment also. At the state level, recruitment also is in the hands of political executive. The state public service commissions are highly politicized. Some time back, the chairman as well as all the board members of Punjab State Public Service Commission have been removed and arrested for corruption. And in some of the states, this who were appointed as State Public Service Commission members, those who have failed in their 10th standard were appointed as State Public Service Commission members. And these positions are completely politicized. And that is the reason why you don't see what is called fair recruitment process. You can see that the question papers are mostly leaked. Recently also in Bihar also, I think they have cancelled the examination. In Telangana, they have conducted the prelims examination twice, and both the times it was cancelled. Both the times in Telangana. And the last time in Bihar, examinations were conducted were during the times of Kautilya, Ashoka, right? In Uttar Pradesh, again, the court had to interfere and cancel most of the appointments. Why? Because from recruitment to removal, everything in the hands of politicians. Till now, all over the country, it is only the UPSC which is conducting examinations with so much of integrity, because we don't find question papers being leaked in UPSC. There is no leakage of any question papers, either prelims or mains. And UPSC conducts the examinations on time, comes out with the results also on time. Whereas at the state level, they will conduct examinations today. The results will come after 15 years. And the court case will continue for another 30 years. And by the time you are about to leave this world, you get the confirmation of your appointment, saying that now you have been appointed. Please come and join. You are 95 years old. Right? That is where the problem, politicization of civil services. So how to prevent this politicization of civil services? As we have mentioned, Second Administrative Reforms Commission had come out with a solution. It has said that let there be a central civil services board that would decide all these career related aspects of civil servants, from promotion to performance evaluation to suspensions to postings, everything, so that we can have depoliticized civil services. Of course, these kind of recommendations are implemented only in letter. We have Central Civil Services Board, but who will take the final decisions? We have a cabinet committee and appointments, cabinet subcommittees. We have so many cabinet committees are there. We have cabinet committee on political affairs, cabinet committee on security, cabinet committee on economic affairs, cabinet committee on parliamentary affairs, and cabinet committee on appointments. Almost all these committees are headed by Prime Minister only. This cabinet committee on appointments will decide all the postings of civil servants from the rank of joint secretary and above. Still we have only politicization. The recommendations are not fully implemented. Next problem here is that why we have so much of politicization. This is what the Second Administrative Reforms Commission has said. It has said that in our civil services we have only ex post accountability. This leads to politicization. Again, as I keep on saying, half the case studies you have to write this only as solution. Ex post accountability. What is this ex post accountability? Ex post means we study about these things, ex ante and ex post. What is this ex post? And what is the difference between ex ante and ex post? What is the difference? Ex post and ex ante. Pardon? Have you not heard about these things? No. Ex post means after the event takes place. Ex ante means before the event takes place. Before the event takes place. Ex ante. So what we are saying here is that in our civil services in India, we have only ex post accountability. What does it mean? Minister is there, you are the secretary. Minister is there, you are the secretary. So minister, as part of hierarchy, has the power to give you orders. He can give you orders as part of hierarchy. And since you are in the position of the subordinate, you have to implement orders. You have to implement orders. That is what we studied in Max Weber hierarchy. It explains the relationship between the superior and the subordinate. Superior has the authority to give orders and subordinate has the responsibility to implement those orders. So you have to implement the orders. Let us assume that the minister is giving you an order which is illegal. He says that I am sending a list of people, appoint them, all of them, to say one public sector enterprise, say Coal India Limited. You are the coal secretary. And you know that these appointments are illegal. Why? Because all those people do not have any kind of qualifications. They don't have any merit or competency. So here, if you don't implement the order, what happens? If you don't implement the order, what happens? Immediately, minister will say that you have indulged in what is called insubordination, typical bureaucratic language. Insubordination. That means you have not followed the orders of your superior. You have violated the hierarchy. Immediately the minister will recommend to the Prime Minister that you should be suspended for violating civil services conduct rules and regulations. Rules and regulations. So this is what is called ex post accountability. That means minister will be evaluating your accountability in terms of your ability to implement the orders or not. If you don't implement the orders, he will say that you have violated the norms, rules and regulations, and you will be suspended. And this is why we have so much of politicization, because we have only ex post accountability. That means minister will evaluate your performance only after the event takes place, ex post. Right? If you don't, what happens? You will be suspended. Your promotions will be stopped. You will be posted to insignificant positions. Right? That is what happens. As I told you, one of our students, parents, very honest, and they were working in a state government. The chief minister was a dictator, and he had called the secretary to his office and said that sign on this file. When this person had seen that file, this person knew that it was full of corruption, because the chief minister's son was starting so many businesses. That file was about his businesses, giving government land, mineral resources, everything free of cost to this son. And this person, IAS officer, has said that I will not sign the file because it is corruption. Immediately Chief Minister has written on the confidential reports, ACR, annual confidential report, that this IAS officer does not even know how to write notings on file, incompetent. So this officer is immediately removed from the position of secretary, immediately. And normally when you are removed, you are asked to report in the General Administration Department headed by the Chief Secretary. And this officer was asked to report in the GAD department and wait for his posting, next posting. And for the next 4 years, this officer was forced to sit at home without any posting. Like as we studied in Council of Ministers, we can have cabinet ministers without any portfolio. Similarly, you can have these IAS officers without any work also. The Chief Minister has said that as long as I am here in this seat, you will not get any posting. For 4 years, this officer was forced to sit at home. So how many of these officers have this kind of courage of conviction to stand by their morals, right? And if you very honest, that is what happens, because we have only ex post accountability. And after the elections are over, new government had come, then this officer got posting. And the story did not end here. So in the place of this officer, another officer was posted. That officer immediately signed the file. And immediately at the central level, new government has come to power. They started investigations against the Chief Minister's son. And whose signature is there on the file? IAS officer. Immediately they have suspended him, arrested him and sent to jail. Why? Because is there any written proof to say that the Chief Minister had asked you to sign the file? Will the Chief Minister ever say that I have asked the officer to sign the file? And he was sent to jail. And fortunately in India, fortunately corrupt people are never punished, because it is very difficult to prove corruption in India. Very difficult to prove corruption. This IAS officer, again when the next government came to power, equations have changed. He was released from jail. Cases were withdrawn against him, and he was made the director of a training institution to teach ethics to bureaucrats. All is well, right? That is what happened. That is what happens. So an IAS officer who was accused of corruption, who has been sent to jail and spent 3 years in jail, came back reinstated and was made the director of the training institution to teach ethics, right? That is unfortunately happens in India. So coming back here, what is the problem here? We have only ex post accountability. What the second ERC has suggested is that let this ex post accountability be replaced with ex ante accountability. That is what they have suggested. Ex post accountability be replaced with ex ante accountability. What is ex ante? Even before the event takes place. So what we are saying here in this context that we are talking about, minister and secretary. So what it has suggested is that let the civil services conduct rules and regulations be changed. 1957, 1959, 1964. You change the conduct rules and regulations to introduce ex ante accountability. That means when the order is given by the minister to the officer, officer should be given the power to reject the order if it is unconstitutional before the event takes place. When the officer is rejecting the order, the minister should not have any power to take action against the officer for insubordination. Change the conduct rules. Give freedom to the officers to reject unconstitutional orders, so that even if they reject unconstitutional orders, they should not be punished. And they should be implementing only those orders which are legal, which are constitutional, and give them the freedom, give them the power to reject unconstitutional orders. Automatically politicization of civil services will come to an end, because officers need not worry about their career prospects if they are rejecting unconstitutional orders. They don't have to worry about being suspended, they don't have to worry about being transferred, their promotions being stopped. They can work in an independent, impartial, unbiased manner. This is a very key recommendation made by Second Administrative Reforms Commission in its report on personal administration and ethics in governance. You have to read this second year's report on ethics in governance. Very important report. Your entire ethics paper is nothing but this report only, right? And that is what they have said. And these recommendations were made by Second Administrative Commission in 2009. We are in, yes, 5023 also we will be studying the same recommendation. This is how you depoliticized. And it has also recommended, Supreme Court in one of its judgments has recommended that officers must demand written orders. These are all what you have to write in your ethics case studies. Officers should always demand written orders, because if there is written order, as we studied yesterday also, the other day also, it will fix accountability. Once written order is there, you can implement it. Why? Because the responsibility will be on the shoulders of your superior. Will they ever give you written orders? No politician worth his salt will ever give you written orders. This is what happened in one of the states. One of the key cabinet ministers had so many cases against him. The High Court has asked the DGP to investigate the cases, and they found so much of evidence against the minister. And this minister is key to the survival of the government. And the chief minister had called this DGP and say that please submit a report to the High Court saying that there is no evidence against him, because my survival is at stake. Because the office, this minister is very powerful, he can split the party also. And the DGP had asked the chief minister, no problem, I will do it, give me written order that I should change the contents of the reports which I have prepared, and will submit, I should submit the report which you have asked me to submit. Chief Minister has said that no problem, go ahead and submit the report in the High Court. Nobody will give you written orders. But how many officers are there? How many officers are there with that kind of a conviction? That is why we say fortitude, one of the important values, courage of conviction. But this DGP, he will be retiring in the next few days, so he does not have any problem by standing up to the Chief Minister. On the other hand, if you are only an officer who got into services fresh, can you have this kind of courage? Obviously not. So that is the reason why what we say here is that written orders are required. Next one is this ex post accountability must be replaced with ex ante accountability. For almost all ethics case studies, you are writing these solutions. That is what you write. Politicization of civil services. Politicization of civil services takes place due to the power of a political executive, in determining 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 the career advancement of civil servants. Career advancement of civil servants. Career advancement of civil servants. Their promotions, transfers, postings, suspensions and removals, depend on their proximity to the political executive. Depoliticization of civil services. Can take place only when career advancement of civil servants is depoliticized. Next paragraph. Second Administrative Reforms Commission. Has recommended that there must be a central civil services board that should recommend all career advancement aspects of civil servants. Next it must take decisions on the basis of objective performance evaluation, so that honest, meritorious and efficient civil servants can reach top level positions. Next paragraph. Another can reach top level positions. Another area of concern is regarding the unambiguous relationship, not unambiguous, you can say ambiguous relationship between the politician and the civil servant with regard to the process of giving orders. In India, full stop, in India, comma, we have a ex post accountability of civil servants to their political masters. That is, a political executive will decide the accountability of civil servant in terms of the ability of civil servant to implement the orders given by him. This is on the basis of democratic control over the functioning of bureaucracy. But it has only resulted in politicization of civil services. Next paragraph. Second Administrative Reforms Commission suggested the following: to depoliticize the functioning of civil services. It has recommended that changes should be made to civil services conduct rules and regulations. By replacing ex post accountability with ex ante accountability, ANTA, ex ante accountability. That is, civil servant can reject any unconstitutional order given by his superior by providing the reasons for rejection. Any unconstitutional order given by his superior by providing reasons for rejection in a written form as per the Constitution. Political executive cannot take any action for insubordination, if the civil servant rejects order. If civil servants rejects the order, it can free civil servant from excessive political interference. Right. So this is what the solution we are providing. First, ask for written communication and reject any oral order which is unconstitutional by writing to the civil servant why you are rejecting the order as per the constitution and conduct rules and regulations. And if you are providing the reason, and if your reason is justified, then you cannot be suspended, or you cannot be punished by your superior, the minister. This is how you can depoliticize. That is what Second Administrative Reforms Commission has recommended. So this is regarding a politician civil servant relationship, right? And then we have to look at one more small thing, that is lateral entry into civil services. Lateral entry into civil services. Another reform, lateral entry into civil services. So if you want break, you can take now or after completing it. That's what I am saying. When was the last time we have seen in the history of human civilization bad people becoming good? I am just trying to find out, right? So now tell me the answer. Now only. Right? That will be almost completing all the civil services reforms. Then after that we'll be looking at the questions that are asked in the last 7 or 8 years from governance. As I said, they keep on repeating the questions. So you can take break for 5 minutes and come back. 10 minutes. You are asking is, please remember, break in the classes is not part of fundamental rights under any article. Supreme Court is yet to give judgment regarding this, right? And Supreme Court keeps on changing its judgments also. They say that the right to marriage is a fundamental right sometime. They say that right to life is also not a fundamental right sometime. So you can take whatever the time and you come back. Right. Why don't they ask for communication? See, that thing is that they know that when they ask for written communication, they will get the written communication. You are suspended. They know that. You are suspended for some kind of violation of rules and regulations. And you will go to tribunals. Tribunals will take a lot of time. From there it will go to the courts. By the time they will come out with the judgment, you are retired. Yes, the tribunal decisions can be challenged in a High Court and Supreme Court. Government will challenge it. Right. And tribunals, we said that the problem with the tribunals is that most of these tribunal members are senior government officers. When they have to take decisions, what do? They will prefer government. That is what credibility of the tribunals is a major problem. So let us look at this lateral entry into civil services. The last topic, as I said, as part of civil services reforms. What is this lateral entry? Why do we need this lateral entry? What are the problems and what can be done? What we say here is that recruitment now takes place at the lowest level. in civil services. What is the lowest level? You are recruited as a sub-collector, right? You are recruited as sub-collector. From here onwards, all other positions in civil services are filled through promotions only, from sub-collector to cabinet secretary, SC to CS. That is your journey in civil services. All these positions are monopolized only by IAS officers. All these positions. And we said that these IAS officers are what we call them as a generalist civil servants. That means they know something about everything. In a jack of all trade, but master of none. And tomorrow you become agriculture secretary, as I said, you don't have any experience in agriculture. And you have to, get into negotiations with the American agriculture secretary, who is a specialist and who is, done a lot of research there for 30 years. Obviously, would you be in a position to talk to him on a level playing field? Obviously not. Similarly, we are living in this age of liberalization, privatization, globalization, wherein private sector is actively involved in governance as part of public-private partnerships and also multi-actor paradigm. As a civil servant, do you have any kind of knowledge about the functioning of private sector? How do they function? Do you have any kind of knowledge? No. But you are regulating the private sector. You are controlling the private sector. That is where again regulatory governance has been a failure. Because you don't have any knowledge. You don't have any experience. But you are regulating them. That is the reason why it is said that to make our civil servants competitive, to make our civil services servants efficient, and to utilize the services of people from outside the government, what we need is a lateral entry into civil services. Lateral entry means getting into civil services, entering into civil services at middle and higher levels. You are joining the bureaucratic, the secretariat organizations at the level of joint secretary. Otherwise, what is the present position? You are joining this IAS only as sub-collector. From there, everything is filled through promotions. So you are an expert in science and technology, and the government will make you secretary, Department of Science and Technology. You are an expert in economic affairs. Government can make you secretary, finance ministry. You are an expert in environment. Government can make you joint secretary in Ministry of Environment and Forests. That is what is called lateral entry into civil services. Why do we need? Because in the age of globalization, we keep on saying one thing: administration is getting highly technical, highly specialized. These generalist civil servants simply do not possess the kind of skills that are necessary for them to succeed. One solution we have given is domain expertise. Other solution is lateral entry. Let the people from the private sector come and join the government at the middle and higher levels, so that they can use their experience, skills and knowledge to improve efficiency. Another advantage with lateral entry is that it will create competition for positions. Right now, we have our promotions only on the basis of seniority principle. So whether you are efficient or not, you keep on getting promotions. Let there be competition. Why our civil services is not efficient? They will ask you the counter question. Why should they be efficient? Why you are working so hard right now? You are working so hard right now because of a fierce competition. 10 lakh people will write and 900 people will get into services. 0.001%. And after you get into services, there is no competition. After every 4 years, you keep on getting promotions. That is the reason why they are not efficient. So how to make them efficient? Introduce competition. Let the IAS officers compete with the people from the private sector and reach top level positions. Let the government utilize the expertise of people from the private sector. After all, we are living in the age of public-private partnerships. Almost every major project of the government is implemented with the help of private sector. Let these IAS officers develop the skills also and compete with the private sector people. This is the reason why we need lateral entry. If you look at most of the countries around the world, they have moved towards this specialist long time back. There is no generalist civil service anywhere else in the world except in India. There is no generalist civil service anywhere else in the world. Britishers have introduced this what we call rank classification and the generalist civil service, and after that no other country in the world has this. In every country it is only about a specialist. If you are working in the Ministry of Health, you must be a specialist in the health sector, so that then only the health of the country also would be good. On the other hand, I just said you are an IAS officer, you don't know anything about health. Obviously what happens? You will not be able to do anything innovative or creative. You are only a bureaucrat and you don't know anything, any specialist skills. And that is the reason why we say that we need these specialists in civil services through lateral entry. But there is criticism against the specialists also. The criticism is that when the people from private sector comes into civil services, there can be conflict of interest because they have worked in the private sector. When they become part of policy making, and there is every possibility that they can make policies that would benefit their previous employees. And the reason is that you may not be able to attract the best of the talent also. Why? Because you are working in America, your salary is 20 crores, 30 crores per year, a very high level MNC position. And you watch Shah Rukh Khan movie Swadesh, and you get influenced by patriotism, come back to India and work as joint secretary in the, say, Ministry of Petroleum and Chemicals. And your salary suddenly comes down from 2 crores per month to 2 lakhs. You work for 2-3 months. After that you calculate the losses. 3 months 50 crores. Then you start talking about what is Swadesh, where is Swadesh, and you will go back. That is where the problem is. If people from private sector comes, that is what we say all the time. If you want the best of the talent to come and work for you, make sure that you are also giving them the kind of service conditions. If you pay them peanuts, you will get only monkeys. Of course, in our civil services we are getting donkeys also. That's a different thing, right? So, that is where the problem is. Even if you, even if you have even if you have lateral entry, what is the guarantee that there will be a case of attracting best of the talent? And this lateral entry has been strongly opposed by the powerful IAS lobby. They said that we don't want lateral entry because when we joined the services, we joined the services on the basis of the promise that we will be getting promotions. If there is lateral entry, they will be losing out on their top level positions. It is a breach of trust, so we will not allow you to introduce lateral entry. And that is why they strongly opposed it, right? And then another reason why lateral entry opposed is that those who work in the private sector, their work culture, a topic which you will be studying as part of your ethics paper also, is completely different from the work culture of the government. In the private sector, what kind of work culture is there? The focus is more on outcomes. Nobody is concerned about rules or regulations or procedures in the private sector. Outcomes, whether you have achieved the desired outcomes or not. In the government, the focus is more on rules and regulations. Obviously, they may not be able to work efficiently within the government because the work culture is completely different. And another reason why this lateral entry is criticized, because they come to these staff organizations, central secretariat organizations, as part of policy formulation. They don't know the problems faced by the people in policy implementation. This lack of knowledge about policy implementation can come in the way of policy formulation. On the other hand, these IAS officers, during their initial years, for the first 12 to 13 years, they are there in the field responsible for implementation. So when they go to the staff organizations, they can use that experience to formulate better policies. Whereas the people coming from the private sector may not have that kind of experience. That can result in the failure of policies. And their problem is that this IAS is a career civil service. You will be there till your retirement. On the other hand, if you come through lateral entry, you will be taken into services only for a particular period of time. New government comes, they can remove you. So they will not have the kind of commitment that an IAS officer has to civil services. So these are all the criticisms. Finally, what is our conclusion? Second Administrative Reforms Commission has said that there should be lateral entry into civil services, at least in those departments which are technical in nature. Science and Technology, Space, Department of Space, and Department of Atomic Energy, and other departments which need technical expertise. From there it can be extended to all other departments also. As I said, rural development. Take the experts from NGOs who are working in the rural development. Let them come into the government. Let them also provide a different perspective to the bureaucracy regarding rural development. Because when you are in the government, one of the features of agrarian bureaucracy is a closed system of organization, secrecy. These bureaucrats will never get into touch with the real actors who are responsible for implementation at the ground level. If you take these people from the ground level, there can be better policy formulation also. So second ERC strongly recommended this lateral entry into civil services. Not only that, it has also recommended a lateral exit also in civil services. What is lateral exit? You have put in around 15 years of service. You can take temporary break from service, join private sector or NGOs, work there for 4 years, 5 years, come back to the government. Use that experience to formulate policies better. Because as I said, as long as you are in the government, you are like a frog in a well. Because you don't know anything. You never come into contact with the outside world. And that is the reason why those who are part of the secretariat organizations, whenever they come out with policy, they are always a failure. For example, take the case of Make in India. The objective of Make in India is to increase the percentage of our manufacturing sector in our GDP from 17% to 25%. They had come out with so many other measures as part of this. After 5 years when it was implemented, what happened? Contribution of manufacturing sector had come down from 17% to 14.56%. Why? Because those who are part of those industry ministry do not know problems at the ground level. And that is where we need lateral exit also. Go and work in the private sector. Try to look at the government from outside, from the perspective of the private sector, from the perspective of NGOs, the third sector. Then you will automatically know about your weaknesses. If you are there in the government, you think that everything is fine, everything is good, because you never come into contact with outside world. And that is the reason why second ERC also recommended lateral exit also, apart from lateral entry. One of the important civil services reforms. You can take few lines about these things. Lateral entry and lateral exit into civil services. Right, done. Civil services in India have not been able to realize the expectations of people, due to inherent weaknesses in their functioning. Inherent weaknesses in their functioning. They include weaknesses. lack of competition within services, monopoly of generalist civil service, monopoly of generalist civil service, IAS over all positions in secretariat organizations, monopoly of generalist civil service, IAS, in all positions in secretariat organizations, absence of practical experience, on the part of bureaucrats regarding the functioning of systems, on the part of bureaucrats regarding the functioning of systems, increasing role played by private sector and non-governmental organizations, in governance, and so on. Next paragraph. To overcome the above problems and to make bureaucracy efficient, accountable, and competitive, lateral entry into civil services is suggested. Next paragraph. Lateral entry means entering into civil services at middle and higher levels, either from private sector or from any other field, FIELD. Next paragraph. Advantages of lateral entry. First, it ensures competition for middle and higher level positions, within secretariat organizations, Second, globalization demands technical professionals heading key departments and ministries, Lateral entry allows key departments and ministries. Lateral entry allows specialists from various fields. Lateral entry allows specialists from various fields to be part of the government. Next, advantage of lateral entry. It can also make governmental bureaucracy more efficient. By learning different work culture. Focused on outcomes. Rather than rules and regulations. Next, it will also ensures diversity in public policy formulation. Ensures diversity in public policy formulation. Next, with the specialists determining policies, policies can be more realistic in nature. As they have practical knowledge. Full stop. Next, criticism against lateral entry. Criticism against lateral entry. It can lead to spoils system. SPOILS system, wherein political executive can appoint their loyalists, LOYALISTS, to key positions within the government. Next, second, it is also strongly opposed by civil servants. As their career opportunities will come down drastically with lateral entry. Next, the government may not be able to attract the best of the talent, due to disparity in service conditions. Disparity in service conditions between the private sector and the government. Private sector and the government. Next, work culture in private sector. Work culture in private sector is radically different from the government, which can come in the way of their effective functioning. Their effective functioning. Next, their loyalties can also be questioned. Their loyalties, LOYAL, loyalties can also be questioned, because they work in the government for only a specific period of time. Specific period of time. It can lead to conflict of interest. It can lead to conflict of interest. Next paragraph. Second Administrative Reforms Commission. Second Administrative Reforms Commission has recommended lateral entry into civil services initially in technical departments and ministries. Initially in technical departments and ministries, and to be extended to the rest of the government. It also recommended lateral exit from civil services. Lateral exit from civil services to allow civil servants, lateral exit, EXIT, from civil services to allow civil servants to spend productive time outside the government. Productive time outside the government, either in the private sector or with NGOs. It can help them to understand the practical problems of governance. Practical problems of governance, and use the experience for better policy formulation. For better policy formulation. So that is what we say about these civil services reforms. We have discussed only most important reforms, because in the examination you have to write only 250 words. Already had given you so much of information also. So that should be fine, I think. We have almost covered extensively, and I had given you this material also, both printed material and second RC synopsis also. As and when you have free time, don't read them. Whatever we have discussed here. For example, today I was just reading an article about cyber security. That is what you have to read. Newspaper reading, as I keep on saying, is very important. If it is possible, I will give that article. He can put it on your portal also. You can go through that. Right? There is an article on cyber security. Okay. So, not everyone will be studying it, right? The class has stopped. Very good. Even our internet also knows that the class is over. Right. That is the advantage of e-governance. E-governance with human values. Yes. So let us look at the question paper. Right. Where is this question paper? There. Backstage, no? Yes. Yeah. This is the one, right? Is it still stopped? We will wait then. Pardon? What is happiness? I said I will only ask questions. Happiness is asking these kind of questions is happiness. If you don't answer, more happiness. Right? I think it has come. I can see it myself here. Right. Wherever you see me, it does not mean that it is live. It's working, but he is saying that I have to wait. Okay. Class is live. Okay. Hands up. Only hands or legs also? Okay. So I think those online, they have written everything about lateral entry. Yes. I don't know whether so did it go online, all that lateral entry? Okay, then let us come to these questions. As I said, on an average in our governance, 4 questions are asked every year. 2 10 markers and 2 15 markers, so around 50 questions. And in ethics, from whatever we discuss, at least every year will be at least 100 150 marks will be there. So let us look at the questions first. This is the question they have asked this year. Can you see this? Yes? Yes. The crucial aspect of development process has been the inadequate attention paid to human resource development in India. Suggest measures that can address this inadequacy. So why we have not given importance to human resource development? we have discussed these things. Initially the planning process initially focused on physical infrastructure. That is what we said. 1960s and 50s, it was all about irrigation projects. 1970s onwards, it was all about public sector enterprises. And from 1950s to 1990s, we have completely ignored the human resource development in the form of either education or health. We could not transform our demographic bulge into demographic dividend. After 1990s, what happened? After liberalization, privatization, globalization, we have given this aspect to the private sector in the name of privatization. Education and health have been completely privatized. And what it has done? It has created more inequalities in the society. Only the rich people could get access to quality education and health. And that led to more inequalities also. So what should we do? Suggest measures that can address this inadequacy. What did we say? We say about this. What we have said is that we have to bring back the state in social sector. We have spoken about FRBM. Similarly, we have to make changes to FRBM, wherein it should be made mandatory for the central and state governments to spend at least 6% of their GDP on education and health. That is what we have written. Not only this, spending money is necessary but not sufficient. Then what else is required? We must have outcome budgets in this education and health sectors. And we should also have citizen charters, where every school must display what kind of standards that they are providing to the students. Every hospital must display what kind of services can the patients expect, and there must be accountability mechanisms also. That is what we have mentioned. The objective should be to transform ultimately our demographic bulge into demographic dividend. That is what we have to write here for this question. Next, e-governance as a critical tool of governance has assured in effectiveness, transparency and accountability in governments. What inadequacies hamper the enhancement of these features? What are the limitations of e-governance that can hamper transparency, effectiveness and accountability? What are the weaknesses in e-governance that can come in the way of ensuring transparency, accountability and effectiveness in governance? That is what we said. In India, we have implemented in the name of e-governance only e-government. What is required here is we need to implement other multidimensional reforms. As we said, to ensure transparency, we must make changes to RTI. Section 4 of RTI should be amended, wherein the bureaucrats working at all levels, especially at the lowest level, must be given the freedom to put the information available with them on the websites of the concerned ministries and departments on a real-time basis without taking the permission of their superiors. Transparency. Next, effectiveness. How? Make citizen charters mandatory for every department and ministry. And these citizen charters should have clear-cut objectives defined in quantifiable manner, and decide the career advancement of bureaucracy in terms of their ability to implement citizen charters. And then accountability. There must be social audit of the performance of a bureaucracy, so that bureaucracy would be made accountable to the people. change the conduct rules and regulations, make social audit mandatory. And apart from all these things, what else you should do? First, create awareness among the citizens about the benefits of e-governance. Next, bridge the digital divide that we have. Let mobile governance can be used to bridge the digital divide. As we have mentioned, only 28% of our population has access to broadband internet. But maximum amount of our population has access to these smart phones. Come out with the mobile applications, create awareness, fix accountability, ensure transparency, and finally realize effectiveness also. We have discussed these things. Next, development and welfare schemes for the vulnerable by its nature are discriminatory in approach. Do you agree? Give reasons for your answer. Developmental and welfare schemes by its nature are discriminatory. Do you agree? Yes? They are discriminatory. Why? Why? Because we are not having egalitarian societies. When there is so much of inequality, what is required on the part of the government is not equality but equity. That is the reason why they are discriminatory. We must, the resources of the government, resources of the country should be used for empowerment of weaker sections of society, for the benefit of weaker sections of society. Why this kind of discrimination is necessary? Why this kind of discrimination is necessary? Why? Because rich people can take care of themselves. Take the case of PDS, give the example. Only 67% of the people in our country are given PDS. Why not 100%? Rest of them can buy food grains at market prices. They are above poverty line. Similarly, take all other schemes. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, rural. It is only for those who are living below poverty line and who do not have houses. And take Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, construction of toilets, again for those households who are living below poverty line and who do not have any, these toilets. Similarly, this Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, this insurance scheme is only for bottom of the population, those who are at the bottom of the population. They should be discriminatory. They have to be discriminatory. What is required is a positive discrimination. This is where you talk about Article 14. Not only equality before law, more importantly, equal protection of laws. We have both the American as well as the British concept. Equal protection of laws is what we took it from American constitution. That is the reason why we talk about this discrimination, positive discrimination and affirmative action. And what we say is that this equity is necessary to achieve equality. But where is the problem coming up? Sometimes this discrimination is not properly defined, wherein mostly undeserving sections of society are getting the benefits. Give the example. When population living below poverty line is only say around 13% according to Niti Aayog, why are we giving food grains to 67%? That is where we say that identification of beneficiaries must be done on empirical basis without resorting to political populism. This is one of the solutions you have also written, right? This is what. Next, skill-based development programs have succeeded in increasing human resources supply to various sectors. In this context of the statement, analyze the linkages between education, skills and employment. Did we talk about this? The linkage between education, skills and employment? We have drawn a diagram also, wherein we said that when people are poor, government is giving subsidies. And this results in vicious cycle of poverty. How to come out of it? Let the government spend on education, skill and employment. I think you have written all these things also. So these are the 4 questions they have asked this year. That's what, you can be sure of one thing, most of the questions can be from the notes only. And that is the reason why whatever the second ERC that I have given to you, if you have time, if you don't have time, you don't read them. If you have time also, don't read them. Right? So, if you have time, as some of you are doing, watch cricket matches. Right? Next, let us look at this one. The Gati Shakti Yojana, this was asked last year. Gati Shakti Yojana needs meticulous coordination between the government and the private sector to achieve the goal of connectivity. Discuss. This Pradhan Mantri Gati Shakti Yojana, what you have to do is, you have to prepare a short notes on all the flagship schemes of the government as part of governance. Either I will give it to you or you will prepare short notes. Which one is better? Empowerment or dependency? If you are poor, do you want subsidies or employment? Right. So I will give you, a short notes on all these schemes, because they are important not only from our mains perspective. Nowadays in prelims also, as part of governance, they are asking all these schemes. Right? What is this Pradhan Mantri Gati Shakti Yojana? What is this? So, what is the difference between India and China? Why China has achieved such rapid economic growth in such a short period of time? Why? You can say that they are dictatorship and we are democracy. That's the reason why it is. That is not the reason. In China, administration is run on a scientific lines. What do you mean by that? For example, if you remember, this is what we said: merger of ministries and departments from the present 57 to less than 27. In China, they have done it long time back. For example, for all the infrastructure, they have only one single ministry. Take all the transportation, one single ministry: road transportation, rail transportation, air transportation, civil aviation, and waterways. And they make sure that all of them are interlinked, so that you are constructing a port one place, immediately the port will be connected through rail network or road network. That is what is called interconnectivity. And that is the reason why they have only one single ministry for all of them. And when our Prime Minister had seen that there is so much of infrastructural delays, there is so many delays in completing these infrastructure projects because of the conflict between the ministries and departments. That is when he had come out with the Pradhan Mantri Gati Shakti Yojana. So here what he has done, he had got all these ministries and departments to come together and work together. But we are living in the age of public-private partnerships. The government is completing all these projects with the help of the private sector. So that is the reason why even private sector also is included here. And there will be a dashboard in the PMO, Prime Minister's Office, which monitors the implementation of all these projects on a day-to-day basis. Why? Because you need horizontal integration, vertical integration also. Horizontal means between the ministries and departments. Vertical means between the central government and the state governments and also the local self-governments also. That is the reason why, if you remember, if you have read, in public-private partnership, we have come out with a new model called hybrid annuity model. What is this hybrid annuity model? HAM. Have you studied this? Yes. What is it? What is HAM? Please remember, to answer questions in governance, you read knowledge of economy. What is hybrid annuity model? As usual, since the beginning we have been doing the same thing. You are looking at me and I am looking at you. I am admiring your innocence and ignorance. Right? It is a combination of BOT or BOOT plus EPC model. What is this EPC? Have you studied or not? Right. Engineering, procurement and construction. Anyway, you have to write all those things for this question. Right. Reforming the government delivery system through the DBT is a progressive step, but it has its limitations too also. Comment. I think we have commented. Yes. Right. Or you can write, the question is so delicate, as per UPSC norms, it is not advisable on my part to comment. Right? Give me marks also. God bless you. Next, recent amendments to the RTI Act will have a profound impact on the autonomy and independence of the Information Commission. Discuss. Did we talk about 2005 and 2019 amendments? We made a comparison and we said that 2019 amendments have effectively taken away the independence of information commissions. Right? Institutional quality is a crucial driver of economic performance. In this context, suggest reforms in civil services for strengthening democracy. All the reforms that we have written, you can write all of them. There should be objective performance evaluation. There should be specialists within the government. And the training methods should focus more on outcomes rather than, and then we must clearly define politician-civil servant relationship, because that is the one which is ruining the functioning of our democracy. We have to replace ex post accountability with ex ante account. All the things that you have written just now. Right? You are looking at me as if we have been we have studied these things during times of Kautilya. For you people, amazing skills. Even half an hour back also becomes part of a Chalcolithic age. Right? Emergence of a fourth industrial revolution has initiated e-governance as an integral part of government. All the things about e-governance that you have to write. How e-governance has become an integral part of government in the form of policy formulation, implementation as well as evaluation. E-governance we have implemented. Next, implementation of ICT based projects programs usually suffer in terms of certain vital factors. Identify the factors and suggest measures for their effective implementation. What are the major problems in e-governance? What are the factors? We have discussed all those factors. As you can see, almost this question was asked previous year. Next year the same question was asked. As you can see, they will keep on repeating the questions. Next, policy contradictions among various competing sectors and stakeholders have resulted in inadequate prediction and prevention of degradation to environment. Comment with relevant illustrations. That is what we said, multi-actor paradigm model. Private sector is interested in profits. Multinational companies are interested in expanding their footprint. NGOs are interested in their own credibility and also their own interest. Bureaucracy is interested in preserving their positions. Politicians are interested in short-term political populism. These kind of contradictions have led to degradation of environment. And what is the solution we have mentioned? Multi-actor paradigm model with integration as the solution. Let all the actors involved come together. We gave the solutions. There should be citizen charters that should be made mandatory. which should include the demands of the stakeholders. And we also mentioned that there must be environmental and social impact assessment. Did you write all these things? Now you are looking again as if I am speaking in Latin only. See, this is the same question, the same year it was asked in ethics case studies for 25 marks. You can write in ethics case studies, please refer to my answer in polity. Give me marks also. Yes. Right. E-governance is not only about utilization of power of technology, but also much about critical importance of the use value of information. How the information is used. It is not about technology, how you use that information for better constructive purposes. That is the reason why we said that for e-governance to be successful, we must create awareness. Let the information percolate down to the lowest levels, so that there will be transparency, there will be accountability, there will be participation. And the same solutions, RTI, citizen charters, and social audits. Right? Citizen charter is an ideal instrument of organizational transparency and accountability, but it has its limitations. Identify the limitations and suggest measures for greater effectiveness of citizen charters. I think we have identified. Right? How do pressure groups influence Indian political process? Do you agree with this view that informal pressure groups have emerged as powerful than formal pressure groups in recent years? These are Kap panchayats, religious institutions, regional organizations, and language-based organizations. They are informal pressure groups. They have emerged as powerful pressure groups rather than NGOs or civil society organizations or anyone else. They are the ones who are influencing public policies also. And they also use mostly informal methods. What are the informal methods they use? They will threaten the political executive that if their demands are not met, they will vote that political party out of power. It is done in a completely informal manner. There is no agreement between the pressure group and the politicians that is what we say informal. So this is what we say. Hunger and poverty are the biggest challenges for good governance in India still today. Evaluate how far successive governments have progressed in dealing with these homogeneous problems. Suggest measures for improvement. We have discussed what should be done. We have only focused on poverty alleviation, but not on poverty removal. That is why we need that one. Next, the emergence of civil self-help groups in contemporary times points to the slow but steady withdrawal of the state from developmental activities. Examine the role of SHGs in developmental activities and measures taken by the government to India to promote SHGs. What is the role of self-help groups? They are a part of citizen-centric governance. They are the instruments to empower women. And what are the measures taken by the government to promote self-help groups? You have to write all of them. Next, initially, civil services in India were designed to achieve the goal of neutrality and effectiveness, which seems to be lacking in the present context. Do you agree with the view that drastic reforms are required in civil services? Yes, we need drastic reforms. Why? We have seen all those things, and what are the reforms? Again, the same things. They keep on asking civil services reforms every alternate year. This year they have not asked. So next year, if and when you write mains, they will be asked, right? So like this, almost every question is the same thing only. So I think this is more than enough. Why do you want to study so many of them also, right? So in the last 10 years, I have taken the questions. This is more than enough, I think, right? So that is what it is, and that will complete our syllabus and our association forever. Because, what is happiness? Yes, what is happiness? And I have also asked you the question also. what is God? Yes. Let me tell you these things with a very interesting anecdote. I cannot even say story because it is a real thing happened. What is God? Right? According to Hindu philosophy, what it says? It says, Aham Brahmasmi. That means, I am God. I am God. Not I am, otherwise. So what is the meaning of this one? It means that you must realize, the God within you. How? So this was a story narrated by Abdul Kalam, and it was one of the personal experiences. Abdul Kalam once he went to Gujarat and to meet one of his close friends, a heart surgeon. He performed hundreds of operations, and he would perform all those operations successfully. And he is known to have that kind of a golden hand. Anyone who goes to him will automatically be cured. One day he had received a very unpleasant case. A young child, just only 6 years old. She suffered from very serious heart problem. And looking at her, he realized that this girl will die in the next 10 days. Not more than that. And the parents had requested him, pleaded with him, please conduct surgery. He said that there is no point in performing surgery because she may not be alive after more than 10 days. And if I perform the surgery, her heart may not be able to withstand the pressure. It might stop also. I cannot give you any guarantee that she will come out of the surgery room alive. They said that still, please perform. He said that okay, no problem. I will do it, come after 1 week. Then this girl mother kept on telling her that please pray to God and he will definitely help you. Then she asked, where is this God? The child, very innocent question. Then the mother has answered that God is there within you only, in your heart. Please pray to him and you will be alive. And this child started praying, God, please save me. And the day has come, and this girl was taken into this operation room. And after going there, this doctor told this girl that don't worry, everything will be fine. And the girl has said that I am not worried about the surgery. But please tell me one thing. My mother kept on saying that God is there in our heart. So what are you doing now? He said that I will break open your heart, try to revive it. She said that it does not really matter whether I will be alive or not, but please tell me after you open my heart whether you have seen God or not, because I wanted to know. You said that my mother kept on saying that God is there in our heart. And the surgery has started. Within half an hour he has realized that this girl is not going to be alive for more than 5 minutes. Heart was opened. Suddenly he remembered the doubt of the question of this little girl. And she said that when you are opening my heart, please find out whether you find God or not. And he opened the heart. Nothing is there. And suddenly he started crying. And the rest of the doctors who were there in the room, they are asking, doctor, you are crying, please wipe out your tears. And why are you crying? Then he said that this is what this child had asked me, whether you see God in my heart or not. And what can I tell her? And she is going to die in 5 minutes. Should I tell everyone that there is no God in this world? Because she will not be alive. And should I break the faith of this young child that there is no God in our hearts. And then he started praying sincerely, God, please show to us that you are there. I want to tell this child and the entire humanity that you are there. And he started praying. Miraculously, within 5 minutes, BP started raising. Heartbeat started going to normal levels. Water started pumping from the veins. And the surgery was completed. And the girl was alive. And the first question she had asked this surgeon, have you seen God? And he said that, yes, I have seen God. He is there in your heart. And that is what is God. God means love. God means unconditional universal love. God means selflessness. If you pray to God in a selfless manner, you can see God. You can experience God and you can become God also. When this surgeon prayed, till then he had this ego that I am the one who is saving all the people through my knowledge or expertise. That is when he realized that he is only an instrument. Ultimately, it is the God who is using you as an instrument to help people, to serve the society. The moment he had realized it, he could see the God inside the heart of that child. And from then onwards, he realized that God means only selfless service. It means universal and unconditional love. And it means, at the end of the day, is all about goodness. God means goodness in human form. If we pray in a selfless manner for the welfare and the success of others, automatically your wish will be fulfilled. You will become God. That is what is God. And that is what is also happiness. God means absolute bliss, unlimited happiness. If you help others without expecting anything in return and realize their dreams, their wishes, the kind of happiness you will get, it can never be taken away from you. And that is what he has experienced in that operation theater. And that is when he has realized God. And that is the essence of human life, to remain happy. To realize this kind of happiness when we can help others to make them happy with our efforts, without expecting anything in return. And that is what the essence of human life. And that is when even an ordinary soul also can become God. That is the reason why the topic that UPSC has asked in one of our essays, journey of mankind from human being to being human. That is when you can easily become God. And that is what ultimately we have to realize in our life. Because anything else that we talk about happiness in terms of power, position, status, money, everything is temporary. And the only thing that will be there with us on a permanent basis is the unlimited satisfaction that we get by helping others in a selfless manner. And that is what exactly Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita as part of a Karma Yoga. Perform your duty with sincerity, devotion, and automatically you will attain salvation. Nothing else is required. And do not differentiate between the people. And pray for the welfare, happiness, and do. If you cannot do anything, as the question that they have asked this year also, at least you can pray to the God. For example, you have seen a beggar on the street. You don't have any money to give to him. And you pray sincerely that God, let this beggar be helped by someone else. And you can see that immediately someone will come and give money to the beggar. You have become God. Because God means omnipotent. Omnipotent means who can fulfill any of the wishes, who can perform any of the task. without any effort. In this case, you did not do anything, but the beggar got the assistance. And that is what the essence of human life, right? So this is what the answer to God, happiness and everything else, right? Any other questions? Pardon? And that is what Hindu philosophy says. Even a normal human being can also easily become God, provided when you see God within yourself. When you have this kind of unconditional and universal love, when your intentions are noble and divine, automatically you can become God, right? And that is what our journey of human life, from being a normal human being to being human, right? Any other questions you can ask, otherwise we can say yes. Yes, what is the difference between love and compassion? Love is an emotion or a feeling that we have towards our own people. You love your family members, you love your friends, you love your known people. Love is always an emotion attached with self-interest or selfish interest, whereas affection is universal love. That means, for example, when I feel for the sufferings of those people in Israel and Palestine war, this Hamas, children, are they related to me? And that is what is called affection. Affection is more universal than love, which is considered more limited. I love my parents, or I love my family members because they are part of my biological system. And if I show the same kind of love towards those who are unknown to me, that becomes affection. And that is the reason why affection is a more universal, more important emotion than love. That is what we said God. God is all about universal, unconditional love. If you see those young children who are being brutally killed, if you believe that those who are killing them are not human beings. That's what we said in our class. The moment we silence our conscience, the moment we silence our conscience, there is no difference between human beings and animals. At least animals, they kill other animals for food, for survival. But as human beings, we kill others for anything except either food or survival. And that is where we need this kind of universal emotions. At the end of the day, as we said, the biggest myth of human life is that all of us know that we are here only on temporary basis. Some people live for 70 years, some people live for 80 years, some others 90 years. And what is the biggest secret, biggest myth? In all those 80 years, we live as if we are going to be here on a permanent basis. What is the reason why you have to earn lakhs of crores of rupees? Can you spend the entire amount of money in your lifetime? Then why are you earning it? What is the point of having hundreds of houses? Can you reside in all those houses in your entire lifetime? Jayalalitha, former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, she had purchased so many properties because she was a top heroine and she was drawing a huge amount of money also. She had purchased so many properties in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and other places. And she had not visited them even once in her lifetime. After purchasing them, you go there and register, sign the registration papers and come back. And who has enjoyed all those properties? The servants. So who are the real owners? Servants. That is what we say the myth of human life. We don't know where our greed should end. That is the reason why we are never happy. We don't know, because if you are a political leader, you are not happy with the 10 years in power. You want another 20 years. After that, you want another 10 years, because there is no. And that is the reason why as human beings we can never be happy, because there is no satisfaction, there is no limit as far as our greed is concerned. And that is the reason why Gautam Buddha has said that he had a desire. He wanted to see a world wherein people don't have any desires. Unfortunately, it is a desire on the part of Gautam Buddha. Even Gautam Buddha could not overcome his desires. As human beings, can we? That is the reason why we can never be happy. And we can never have peace of mind. Because we have so much of attachments, so much of emotions, so much of greed. I'll just give you one personal example, which is not really great, but again, honesty is always the best policy. 3 years back, 2021, my father, he was not really feeling well, and our those who were on rent in our household, they had come and they had given their rent. He felt so happy, counted the money so many times and put it in the locker. And then after that, after 2 years, he passed away. That is what is life. You think that everything belongs to you only. And when you leave, you don't take anything with you. Do you take anything with you? And he felt so happy counting the currency notes. And do those currency notes come to your rescue when you are leaving? Then why should we? We need definitely money, because we are living in materialistic world. We need money, but what is the extent of money that we want in our life? And where is the limit? For that, what we are willing to sacrifice? This is what is called peace of mind. Peace of mind means knowing what to sacrifice to get what you want in life. Politicians, they are after power and position, and they are sacrificing their family. Will they have real peace of mind? No. Why? Because every time the more you attach yourself to something, there is always a fear of losing it. Then you will never have peace of mind. That is why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, detachment. But it is very difficult. Just last one more, 2 more minutes I will take. Lord Krishna, he had taken so much of time to explain this essence of detachment to Arjun. He said that this entire world is one. The soul is the same, Advaita philosophy. The bodies are different. So all these attachments and all these emotion sentiments are fake. They are not real, because nobody will come with us when we come into this world. Similarly, nobody will come with us when we go out of this world. And that is the reason why he said that we must have this kind of detachment. Then the war has started. And in this war, Arjun's son Abhimanyu was killed by the Kauravas through backstabbing. All of them had come together and killed a single person. And when Arjun came to know about this, he went to the place and he started crying. Nobody could stop him. That is when people around him had ran up to Krishna and said that please come and console Arjun. And Krishna went there. Looking at Arjun, he also started crying. Krishna. Then people have asked Krishna. We can understand, because Arjun is a human being. He cannot overcome his emotions. But you are God. You should not have any emotions. Then why are you crying? That is where he had come out with the answer, which is relevant even for us today. He said that Arjun is a close friend of mine. He is nothing but an extension of my own personality. And I took him so much of pain to explain the essence of life and the detachment. In spite of my teachings through Bhagavad Gita, he could not understand it. The moment his son died, he started crying. He could not overcome his attachments. What about the future generations? will they be able to understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita and practice it? I am crying for future generations. They will never have any peace of mind, because it becomes almost impossible to overcome our human emotions, attachments and sentiments. That is the reason why we will never have peace of mind. And that is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. These learned people, knowledgeable people will never cry over the death of their near and dear ones. Why? Because death means liberation of the soul and integration of that soul with the divine soul. That is what we call salvation. You should feel happy and you should not cry. But how many of us have that kind of emotional strength and understanding? And that is the reason why when you don't understand whatever I'm telling you right now, I will not cry, because I am not as innocent as my friend Krishna. Right? Very, very difficult to practice this philosophy. Very difficult. That you can do so only when you reach up to the level of God. Very difficult. So that is where, but it does not mean that we should stop ourselves from, at least trying. Only when you try, you can realize, whether it is UPSC examination or anything else. That is the reason why. Just give your best attempt. Work very sincerely. If you are studying for 8 hours, study as if there is no tomorrow. And then don't have too much of attachment with outcomes. Because neither Mahatma Gandhi nor Mother Teresa got into civil services. And they are our role models. So give your best attempt. Work sincerely, hard, work hard. And develop that little bit of detachment. Because what is there written in our fate, it will happen. Have that kind of faith in God, and you will automatically be happy. And you will have that peace of mind. And this is where I think we can stop. Right? Best of luck. All right. All right. So, any other doubts you can ask, otherwise I have already taken a lot of your time. Right, then best of luck.